Hey everyone, welcome back. Coffee Mug here. So I just finished up Aquilo, and I'm back on Nauvis because this is the next place I need to work on. And so just to kind of recap of where I'm at now, my Aquilo base looks good. This makes my target two fully stacked green belts, or 28,800 signs per minute. And I got all my production set up here, so that's all working very well. Flagora is currently limited to about 1,800 signs per minute with just these right here, which was fine. This is the first base I started scaling up, but certainly this is the next outer planet that I need to work on. Because my Gleba base, I had been working on this. I did finally make it back here to make a few changes, so let me kind of show you some changes here. I swapped this beacon from up here to down here. I think that cleaned up the belts a little bit up there. And then I did swap out the Epic Tier 3 one with just a regular Tier 2, which seems kind of strange, but I was making so many nutrients that I really didn't need it, because I was just getting a ton of nutrient spoilage. And then I had, in the last episode, I kind of walked through some changes I was planning, but I moved kind of everything over slightly, because I had cleared up two of these nutrient things. Then I also replaced this one with just a Tier 1, because these things make like 224 nutrients per second, even now. This is like just enough, so I only needed one speed module there, Tier 1. And then I cleared up some stuff over here by the eggs. I did change the input, so these inputs don't enter if it's less than 250. So that keeps her from being too much on the belt. Then I also added dedicated trash outputs for these, so I kind of moved everything apart by like one or two spaces to clear up some space to get better trash outlets and whatnot. So now all of my trash outlets go here outside the bioflux, and ultimately make their way down and then out through there. So that was much needed improvement to my eggs here. I haven't seen any of them kind of pop yet, which is great. And then over here, the changes I made here is I added dedicated trash outputs to my science because I didn't have that before. So that, takes the trash back to the dump here. The bioflux I have looped around the top, the trash I have coming out more towards the bottom, just to add some level of symmetry. Then down here, this was kind of an interesting thing I did. I have this chest right here, which will pick up eggs, and then to recirculate them back to the old ones, I take the freshest ones first, and then whenever there's this one right here, whenever there's too many eggs on this inner belt, it just burns them. And so that way I'm constantly getting fresh eggs, and that's, I think, what's keeping me from getting these random spawns of end pods. I have one on each half here. So I haven't really seen any of these little warnings yet that guys have gotten loose. And I also did something similar here with the nutrients, so it just picks up all the nutrients, then puts back the freshest ones, and then this will burn any that ultimately end up expiring, because this is only taking the freshest ones off the belt. Then this keeps basically this belt full of the freshest nutrients from this little part right here, plus the input here. So that keeps me with fresh nutrients, fresh eggs. And I thought about doing something like that with Bioflux, but I haven't really got around to it. I may end up doing something right here with that if I decide that it is necessary. But so far, the science I'm producing is pretty fresh, so I may want to think about doing the same type of deal with Bioflux, though, just to optimize it. But it's been moving really well, and so then I was able to space out the roboports and stuff a little nicer. So now it's ready to go. This is doing a little over 7,200 signs per minute. So when I'm ready to scale up, I just have to, copy it. That one is really ready to go up to 32 or 28,800 at any moment now, just once I copy it over. And same thing with Volcanus. I had built these little stacks here. These are ready to go. I just have to copy and make two more. So these, Fulgora and Gleba are almost, I would say, effectively done. And Fulgora is the only one, or Volcanus and Gleba are effectively done. Fulgora, I just got to scale up, and Aquilo is effectively done. So really, the only planets I have left now are Nauvis and Fulgora. And I really needed to get my Nauvis base fixed now, because pretty much all of my science now is limited by the Nauvis sciences. The red, green, and blue, and whatnot. So that's going to be my next target, is to scale up all of my Nauvis sciences. And this base is a complete chaotic mess because I was, using all my time to kind of learn how the new Space Age stuff works. And so I just have, this is a hideous base. It looks, it's, yeah, I don't even want to comment on that. And so, and I had these two bases down here. This is my one that makes 1800 signs per minute and everything. And this has been running great. It's been running perfect since I finished it up here. So nothing I really need to change down here. This was my legendary production base, which I used all this blue upcycling stuff. I really need to fix this base because I'm getting to a point now where it's getting clogged with green circuits, and I'm running a little low on the red circuits. So I need to figure out a better solution to this. And one of the problems really is that when you recycle these blue ones, it gets a greater ratio of green than red because of the way the recycling works. So that's been a problem. And plus, these are all done by bots, and my bots, I don't know, something's wrong with my bot production that I never really fixed. So I need to, I want to see if I can rearrange this so it doesn't use bots to do this upcycling, and that'll eliminate all of my bot traffic, I think. So I gotta clean up the tail end of this so I can effectively finish this base, for lack of better words. So that's something I have to do. And I realize there's a lot of changes I can make here. I don't think I even use a steel for anything, so I may eventually just take out the steel. So I gotta clean that up, and then of course I gotta clean up this base here. This is just a mess, so I'm just gonna delete all of this. And I really need to think about where I'm gonna put my biolabs, because I gotta start scaling up to, much bigger biolab area here, right? And I think I found a way. I was playing around with the way to make better biolabs, and I think I saw some good things. I finally took some time to look at some advanced biolab builds, and so and I started to get a good collection of these legendary biolabs now. So that'll help with these as well, because most of these are just regular or rares. Some of these are epics, but so I really need to kind of fix where my biolabs are going to be doing research at. I might just keep it around here because I like that it's by the original spaceship. But I'm gonna completely retool this area here. So I'm gonna tear all this down. So then once I'm got it ready to where I'm all set to make the regular sciences, I'm gonna go ahead and do those and then knock those out. And that'll be the next 6-7 videos here. So I'm actually getting really close to being done with this full base. I probably only have, I imagine, about 10-15 more episodes in the series, and it's running kind of long now because I took so much time just kind of learning all the new Space Age stuff. So hopefully my next Megabases won't take so long to build. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm gonna start tearing stuff down, and I will check back in with you when I got a clean base. All right, I am about halfway through my cleanup here. I managed to pretty much destroy everything, with the exceptions of a few things. I have a little biter nest that's keeping me eggs just so I don't have to go chase one down later. Then up here, I still have my science that's researching minus productivity. So that'll just go while I'm finishing up. Added a few of these. These are just going to be temporary locations. I'll probably move those around. And then I got a new input shipping for all my raw resources, and you can see here I'm starting to ship in some legendary stuff, and I'll show you that in a minute. And as far as stuff I have in my base, I just basically have my main kind of intermediate production, enough to make about a belt of everything that I'll use, including some explosives, because I'll need those for artillery. So I got all my circuits, red, blue, green, and pipes and plastic for all sorts of stuff, plus copper, steel, iron. And then I'm also starting to ship in all of my legendary stuff. And so I'm going to have a legendary bus and a regular bus run side by side with each other. So I'll be shipping in green circuits, blue circuits, and plastic and coal. All right, and then I just have a simple oil production setup, which is going to feed all my oil stuff for the factory. So then I kind of laid out, this is kind of some stuff that I have in an old mall pattern that I want to reshape and put in here, then put in the legendary stuff as necessary. So I'm going to do that next. But the big thing I wanted to show you here is that I finished up my blue circuit upcycling build. And so I used to use bots to do blue circuit upcycling to get legendary mats. And And I wanted to rearrange it because I was tired of, one, I was just tired of having so many bots roll around. I was taking several thousand bots and it was annoying watching them all around. Plus, I didn't like having to do the way I was doing my like building making. So I changed all that to be a belt-based blue circuit upcycling, which it turned out incredible. I was like so happy with this design. So last time I had, I think, a total of 12 blue circuits that were running full time. So I doubled it. Now I'm up to, here I got 48 just regular first level circuits that are being made with quality modules. And I'm at productivity 240, so it's not perfect yet, but it's, you know, I still got to do some circuit research levels. But I got as much as I can in here. And so how this works is I make all the blue circuits and all these, those get recycled. Anything that's just regular, common, or quality or below, I should put it back on this belt, which loops its way around. And I have this all set up just so I can restack everything. But the red and green regular circuits make their way back down and get reinserted into the main input area here. All right, so that's just reusing all my old raw materials. And then here I separate out anything that's uncommon quality and anything greater or equal than blue. So like blue, purple, legendary. And all the blue, purple, legendary stuff goes on this top belt, which makes its way down and around. But all the regular common stuff makes its way over here. And then this goes down into this area here. And these are all of my uncommon blue science. Right, so these make their way down here. Anything that is common, right, so I can reuse those. I ship right here is also my common belt. So these all get shipped back up and get reinserted back into the uncommon belt. Down here, all of my rare stuff makes its way down this way, down this belt. Anything that's left over uncommon stuff comes up here and gets recycled. So done. Blue circuits make the rare quality stuff makes its way down here. Then we got a nice blue circuit build here, or the rare quality builds. So I have 12 of these. Extra blue stuff or rare stuff makes its way here, gets recycled. I tend to have a ton of extra of this rare quality stuff compared to uncommon, which is really interesting. So I have all these. These are kind of getting piled up just because I have so much stuff being made now. But that'll get caught up. And also, too, I forgot to mention this. Right here, I'm shipping in. I've had all these spare parts when I was doing my previous bot cycling, so I've been adding a ton of these blue ones because these are the only ones I have left over. And so because I'm shipping in all of these blue, or the rare quality ones, I think that's why it's backing up. But that'll get cleared up here in a moment. It just takes a while to go through all the recycling. I may have to go back and help fix that a little bit, but it's still, I'm still producing, so I know it's probably fine. Then up here, all of the rare quality stuff makes its way over here. Right, I'm making as much rare quality stuff as I can. Right, the rare quality materials make their way back around to get reinserted. And finally, kind of at the edge of each production here, I siphon out any legendary stuff. So all of the legendary blue circuits, they all get combined, and they kind of combine. Like here's my legendary output for this belt right here. It's way down. Right, that combines here and here. So all my legendary circuits are making their way over here. And then up and out to this train. If I have any excess blue circuits, they basically get recycled. And then all of the red and green legendary stuff, this will produce if I'm running low on the blue circuits, but as you can see, I got a ton, so I'm all backed up. All right, and so going up this way, we have these red and green circuits. They get restacked here at this location and make their way up here to get loaded into the trains. Any excess I have just gets siphoned off here and here. Then that just gets recycled. The green circuits fuel my iron, legendary iron. And then down here I have my low density structures. So these are at the 300 productivity limit because I'm using legendary plastic, so that makes it easy to get legendary LDS. And I did have one in here. I don't need to run quality modules in these because I'm already producing legendary. But that gets recycled. That's where my all my plastic comes over here, makes its way back around and gets reinserted back in. At 300 productivity, I basically don't lose any now unless I'm using it elsewhere. But I do get a ton of copper and steel, right? So excess copper gets siphoned off here, right? And then I have extra plastic copper, steel, iron, and red circuits, green circuits, blue circuits, all legendary being loaded onto these simple trains. And so I was just finishing hooking these up, and I kind of wanted to show everybody where I was at here. I was actually like really excited about this particular build. I think this is really cool. I'm so happy how this turned out. But I want to show you, I want to get these blue circuits moving so I can show you what it looks like when it's fully running. So here to full cargo, then we'll go to drop off till decargo. Oh, and I gotta add some fuel to that real quick. And let's hop in. Alright, so short train wide away over to my main base where all my unload and legendary items will be. Alright, and so now I unload it. Got a little single in balancer here, and that'll make its way up onto my belt. Alright, so if we go and look back at the factory now, we can watch it running. Play. Oh, it's gotta wait till it gets back. So is it on its way? Yeah, it's on its way back. So this won't actually start moving down here until it returns. Alright, now they're getting fired up. So if we look at my production now, these are processing units. Right, so we are going about average of 300-ish, 272 an hour. And now in this last minute, you can see it jumped up right away, and then it levels off around, I don't know, 450, 400 when it's running full time. It's a 450 legendary blue circuits a minute. Actually, it may even be higher now. It looks like it's settling around 500 maybe. Yeah, it runs about 400 to 500 when this is running full time, but yeah, so this is cool. Really cool kind of legendary build I made here. I really like how this turned out. The crazy part is if you look at my red and green belts, I'm like barely using any, right? So I really realistically could have like run multiple of these. Like I could probably put in a whole other one of these like right here or something. Like that's how few resources it actually uses with this few things. All right, so yeah, now that I got that set up, it's time to finish up my production, and I'm gonna do all my building logistics, production buildings I need. I'll check back in with you when I'm done with that. All right, so I've made a lot of progress here on my cleanup. I'm pretty much done with my new base here, so let me kind of walk you through all the changes I made. So I had recently gotten my legendary materials being shipped in, which is great. So I got, my oil refinery set up. Got a bunch of artillery shells here. I had all my different green circuits, plastic, red circuits, blue circuits, and everything I needed for basic production. Then the first thing I have here is a legendary bot production. So this is just kind of a simple thing that just makes bots. And then I got a full chest full now. It's been going for a little while. I store these extra robot frames and these extra electronic engine units. And then this just inserts them whenever I am running less than 50 available bots. So it just kind of puts them in if I ever need more. I have some up here. So I have all my legendary materials coming here on the bottom. So anytime stuff comes in off the bottom, it's a legendary item. And the regular items come in off the top. So I have some repair packs here for those ones that I need. I have a bunch of personal equipment here. I was gonna, I don't know, I got a couple Spidertrons set up, but I don't really use Spidertrons ever. I don't know. Like, I'm just not a big Spidertron guy. But I might have some extras. I have a bunch of extras here if I want to start building out my Spidertrons. Over here, I just have some random building equipment, lasers, roboports, beacons, all my kind of legendary building equipment. Extra legendary inserters here. Your legendary assemblers. Over here is all my refinery stuff, legendary refineries and chemical plants. I didn't really make a lot of legendary nuclear stuff, So I mostly just have the turbines, which I'll need for Volcanus later for power. I have some power here. Then over here, I got both the regular and legendary space equipment, plus stuff to make platforms or foundations, and then some more, shields and cliff explosives. So that's kind of what this area is for. I did now have reached, I got all legendary stuff in here. Although I do like having this belt immunity thing. I know it's kind of a weird thing to have, and some people don't use it, but I don't know. I hate it when I'm just standing around and the belt starts moving me around. So I got all legendary stuff in here now. I got the achievement that was like, put all legendary stuff in there. So I did all of that stuff, and then I have up here, I just have a regular space platform because the legendary space platform doesn't really do anything. Different circuit network, logistic network type equipment here. Up here, this is just the same as my legendary bot setup, except it doesn't make bots. This just makes robot frames and engine units. That's particularly what I use those for random things. Then this over here is regular train stuff, because the legendary train stuff I feel like it doesn't actually do anything. It just adds more health. So I'm not going to bother with legendary train equipment. Then over here, I have a ton of capture bots running. Those are to build these biolabs. So I'm trying to get up to, I need about 140 or so of these legendary ones to do all my research. And I had about 65 made before, so now this is going at a pretty good rate. And then if it's not legendary, it just kind of recycles back to itself. And the biolabs recycle into themselves, so it's just kind of a simple little upcycle thing here. Hopefully I'll have all 140 I need by the time I'm ready to actually use them all. And here I'm making legendary tier 3s of the productivity modules. To make that, I got all of these biter nests. I've been slowly kind of building up my quality biter nest here. So I had just like a very simpler recycling thing. It's just like the biolabs, these recycle into themselves, and plus being in a cryogenic plant, you can get 50% quality right off the bat. So it's pretty easy to get all of these up to rare, but now I'm trying to get these to epic and legendary. So this just takes anything that's below rare, rare and below, and recycles it. Eventually I'll get some more epics and legendaries. There's mostly rares now at this point though. And I have these little programmable speakers set up just so whenever I get a purple one now or an epic one, I'll get a little alert saying, hey, you got one ready, because these things expire, and that's kind of annoying having to watch them expire. So that just lets me know when they're available so I can place them down. I have a whole contingent of rockets up here. I put all legendary rocket silos, so I don't really need a lot of speed beacons now, so I have it 1 speed and 1 efficiency. Because they launch faster than 30 seconds now, I believe. So I got a whole contingent here of rockets ready to ship stuff up. I had moved all of my my landing pad I used to have right here, so I moved all that. I still have my original rocket there. It's just hanging out. And some water pumps here to make its way in. And down here, I just have all my storage here. Some of the stuff I need to like recycle away and get rid of. Because I just got a bunch of junk that I don't really need. And then over here, I have a uranium train here that has the sulfuric acid in the middle. So what this will do, look, I got a biolab. Cool. So that just a very simple train route comes over here, drops off any sulfuric acid I need, loads up on the raw uranium ore, makes its way back, and then it's just kind of a simple. These are all just processing, and then these ones down here are Kovacs enrichment. Just kind of makes its way around, and if I have enough stuff on the belt, these things will shut off. That's kind of doesn't, so I don't waste the uranium there. And then I collect extra in these chests here, and if I have way too much stuff, these will recycle it away. But these don't run too often because I have these set up pretty well now. Here I have nuclear fuel. That's for all my train routes. I have nuclear fuel, or nuclear fuel for the trains, and then the fuel cells. Mostly for, I think I still have 1 or 2 ships that still uses uranium. This Aquila science ship. But I have been converting my Aquila ships to fusion, just because it's a lot easier. And so I don't actually need probably this I mean, I'm still using it, so I gotta have it, but then I may eventually get rid of that entirely soon. Then I have these right here because I was making over on Aquilo that I was using those to upcycle these fusion reactors. So I got my couple legendary ones, but I do, again, I showed you earlier, I got all my legendary ones that I want in here now. And so that's fine. And up here, I just have more Kovrax minings. I put a bunch down because I was going through a ton for these biolabs. You can need a good amount for these biolabs. So I was using a lot there, so I just wanted to make sure I was making enough. These Kovrax miners, I mean, these make roughly half of one per second each, so this makes about four of the those per second, and then these consume, you know, about 3 total. So it's a little bit extra there. All right, and then let's see over here. I just have a very simple nuclear setup. I mean, it works. That's fine. I don't really use a ton of nuclear fuel because I got productivity so high now. I think I'm at well 16. So I got, you know, this is that 225 with the modules in it. So plenty of productivity there. And over here, this is I was really excited about. This is my new fuel. This is what powers my whole base now. So if you look at my thing here, I do have some solar panels and accumulators, but most of my base now is run through these field generation, and this can make up to around 9 gigawatts. So it's pretty powerful. So I was kind of looking at some of the ways you can build these fusion reactors because they get this neighborhood bonus. So I was trying to find a way to see how I could optimize this. So I saw that this donut here, this 18-ring donut of these fusion reactors, was a pretty good way to do it. But I wanted to build my own design. So how I did this, right, is I have my cold fluoroketone. That just makes its way vertically. So all of the cold fluoroketone stacks vertically. That can come in from either side. And all the plasma goes left to right. So going left to right, I basically just have all the plasma being outputted, staggered by 1, then with the hot fluoroketone coming out the other side there. That just makes its way down here to the end, and then goes back to be cooled off. And then with the ones in the middle, I was going to do the same, but then I decided, you know, that would leave a lot of extra space here in the middle, so I just had it zigzaggy, just because I thought, I don't know, it made it a little cooler of a design. Yeah, this right here is 9 gigawatts, and then I could easily just, you know, add more if I need more power, which I may need one more of these eventually, but I'll kind of keep an eye on my power as I build. And to get the fuel cells in, I just have these requester chests scattered throughout the build. So really cool build. I really like the way this turned out, and I kind of like the way the lighting looks because I used kind of this light bluish color light, which I think is really cool. Pairs well with the nuclear one, especially at night. I think right now it's nighttime, so this looks really cool, I think. Yeah, and so let's see here. Here's my new epic one, so let's place this down. There we go. All right, so I'm slowly going to be replacing these and upgrading these. Over here, I have my landing pad. All the stuff's being shipped in. Nothing too crazy here. All of these cargo bays, these are all legendary cargo bays. So I have a ton of space in here now, right? Way more than I need at the moment anyway. And plus, if I do need more, this is really easy to add, you know, can add a bunch more really easily. But I wanted to kind of limit how much is touching the wall in case I need to use stack inserters or whatever to take out signs later. I'm not entirely sure what that's going to look like. But I think I'm going to have my biolab for my Megabase part like right about here, I think. So if you recall my earlier base, I did have a bunch of biolabs right around here. I just transferred those down to my science production here. So at the moment, I'm not really planning on doing any other research other than mining productivity. Because my mining productivity is around 300K, and pretty much everything else is, you know, 500K or more for the most part. Some of them are even up in like the millions, right? And so like until I get my whole larger Megabase set up, I'm not going to do anything other than mining productivity. And I figured I would just kind of go direct to the source here and you know, just do the research here instead. That way I don't have to train everything up, and that kind of cleans it up a bit. If you look at my bot network now, it's really kind of nice and clean, like a nice square here. It's a little offset because of the way where this rail is. So if I had to design this over from scratch, I'd probably have it be even just so that doesn't annoy me. But it's good. It's good for now. and I'm kind of really happy the way all this turned out. I think it looked turned out to be a pretty cool kind of end game production base. If I was, on my next playthrough, I probably will not have something like this because I really had a chaotic spaghetti base this whole time, and now that I kind of know how Space Age stuff works, it'll be a lot cleaner in the future. So I won't. This base right here is not something I plan to keep around. Although I will keep this fusion and have a blueprint for this, and I don't know, I kind of like the way this nuclear fuel setup works, so I may blueprint that for the future. And then I don't know, I kind of like this egg biter setup, although I will say that the production of my biter eggs, let's see here, I'm only making like 1 per minute, right? It's really kind of like not very good. I don't know. Like I am worried that I may need to scale this up more in the future. Like I've been doing my build kind of slow, so I've been able to keep up with these productivity modules, but yeah, I don't know. It makes roughly 1 per minute now, which is it's fine, but man, I just don't know if that will keep up long term. Let's put some efficiency modules here and just to save some energy while I'm at it. So yeah, that's kind of a problem for my future playthrough. For now, I think this will be going fast enough that I'm not too concerned. But over here, the ones on the left-hand side, so some of these go downwards, and I store these in this chest. If I have more than 100 here, I will basically take the most spoiled ones and stack them in. So this is the biter eggs that I'm using for these biolabs. Right, so that's just keeping these just enough so these run full time for the most part. Occasionally they'll stop, but they get going again pretty quickly. But these are being made at a fast enough rate. I'm not too concerned over that. So yeah, that's my base. The last thing I'm going to do here before I start working on my sciences is I want to upgrade my the molten iron and the molten copper. So this thing, this I had built when I first kind of set up foundries. So these are just like base level foundries. Now that my mining productivity is high, like if you look at this, these each make 187 per second. And half a belt is only 120. So these I don't even need all of these anymore. So it's kind of a waste. And then, I mean, the molten iron is fine. These each make around 273 each, but I also have like regular speed modules, regular foundries. And I know I can push that a lot higher now that I have legendary stuff. So I was kind of planning out what this might look like. And so if you look, this is what I was thinking about doing, basically direct mining into the foundries. So if I heavily beacon this molten copper or molten iron, this consumes 386 per second, which is more than a fully stacked green belt. And so I'm just gonna mine directly into it. Even though this, if you look at the speed, this is 766, so it's way more than I need, and it's gonna only get even worse as my mining productivity is higher. So it does kind of waste the output a little bit, but with even just a single beacon, this makes so much. Guys, I can't really fit any more around here without also speeding this up. So it's like, this is kind of the best I can do. I may drop these and make one of these efficiency modules or something. I'm not really sure yet. Just because I can probably slow this down because this makes way too much. But this right here, if you look at the output, this makes 5.8 thousand per second, like 5,800 per second. And I was kind of planning out how much I might need for the entirety of my Nauvis Megabase, and I only need like 20,000 per second of molten copper and roughly 50,000 per second of molten iron. So if this makes roughly 25% of what I'm gonna need for my whole Megabase, and I can easily just kind of stack this, like repeatedly, and I can really get some massive molten copper, molten iron output from this little type of build here. So I'm going to go get those set up and just kind of build a new little smelting point and kind of like clean up some of my old mining for my coppers and just kind of clean this up a little bit, get that fixed, and then yeah, then I'll be ready to start like really scaling up Nauvis. And so what I'll probably do is I'll turn this area here, this is a really big copper patch, into molten iron, and then I'll probably still use this one. Well, actually, I may get rid of this one because it's kind of small, but I'll probably convert this over to a patch. And let's see, this molten iron, this is about 1.6 million. That'll last a really long time, but I'll probably start pushing outwards now, and I may grab this one and maybe one of these, and I push my rail down a bit and start extending out the bottom of my base, because I think I want to do most of my Megabase stuff right around this area. That's my plan. Yeah, I think that's my plan, because this is like a big open area. And then I got all my tree farms up here. I just don't want to bother. Well, I don't know. I may do a couple up here. I don't know yet. Yeah, I'm thinking about maybe doing it up here too. Now that I think about it, this would be a good area up here. I still not entirely sure what I want to do, but I do want to. Well, it's just these copper and these ones on here, they're so big. I mean, I do have this one right here, which is 5 million, and then I have this here. So maybe I won't. Maybe I will do my. I also have a copper here and an iron here, so maybe I will do my production up here. Because I'm gonna have my biolabs here. It actually might be a good idea to have my production up here. So maybe I will do that. Maybe I will. But I do know that I got these 2 oil patches here. So what I want to do right here is build like a really big refinery. And I actually, this is kind of funny. When I was planning out roughly how much I would need. I'm only going to need like this much right here for like the whole Megabase. So I'm just going to connect this here and then have all the oil connected to it directly, and have like a train station pickup for, well, I don't need light oil for any of the structures here. I basically only need lubricant and petroleum, right? So basically everything is going to be cracked into petroleum, and then so I'm going to have a petroleum and lubricant output. So I'm going to build my refinery there. I think I could just have a refinery station, and then I also will probably do because I was thinking about my science here, right? Apart from like copper and iron and steel, right? Those all come from molten copper and molten iron. The other things I need here are green circuits, red circuits, and blue circuits. So I might make like external outposts for there, but I'll probably do that in a later episode here. And then obviously, you know, stone I'll need. So basically I'll need stone, stone circuits in molten copper and molten iron, and petroleum basically. And then I can make everything just with those kind of materials. And then I might have like a plastic output, because plastic will be used for red circuits and low density structures. So I'll make like a green circuit outpost, a red circuit outpost, a blue circuit outpost, and a plastic outpost, and then kind of ship everything in I need for each of the sciences, which is mostly going to be molten copper and molten iron. So I think that's going to be my plan. So what I may do now is I may actually use this area down here for circuits. I don't know, or maybe this area here. I gotta think about that. That's gonna be a longer term plan. So that's what I'm thinking of doing here, and how I'm thinking about planning out the rest of the space here on Nauvis. So, but I'm gonna kind of wrap up this episode here, and I'll probably just you know, I gotta fix the I'm gonna fix my smelting outpost, but then I'll just kind of do that between sessions here. So. Well, thank you for watching. I appreciate you following along, and I will catch you in the next episode.